has abandoned us.
An army is nothing without his father's guidance, the king's guidance. There is no king without Excalibur.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Awesome to have you here, Giles. How have you been?
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you. Yeah, I've been good. Lots of build-up to Arthur Merlin coming out. Lots of press, all that kind of good stuff. And excited for the release. We only shot it in October. It's a real quick turnaround normally for a movie. The Dare's it's going to be 4 years by the time it comes out in October in the UK.
Okay.
So, yeah, so really Knights of Camelot is a fast turnaround. So it's exciting. So it's been a busy time. Yeah.
Cool, I can imagine. All right, so if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
Yes. Well, I started out as an actor, so I did that for 10, 15 years and did loads of telly and films and loads of indie films, loads of horrors and all good stuff like that. And the defining moment was someone at school, a careers advisor just came in and I wanted to be a footballer, and they said, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Even though I was at Bradford City at the time, they just said, well, I've seen you in the school play, or I've heard you're good in the school play. I'm going to put you on this performing arts course. I went, okay, I'm going to be a footballer, so I don't care. And I went to this performing arts course and just fell in envy of the people who were getting the lead roles and the people who were loving being actors and running around and doing it. And I just went, okay, I want to do that. I want to do something creative. And that's how it started. I got the bug and over time started writing for the Royal Court Young Writers Programme and Soho and started putting plays on that I'd written and started directing them. But I never really had the bug to be a director at the time. I thought it would get in the way of the acting. And it was only when we made a pilot for the BBC, a really fun comedy, and the director pulled out last minute, and I went, fine, I'll do it. We brought a brilliant DP on, James Friend, who's now since won BAFTAs and done some amazing TV shows. He shot it for me, and I felt those 3 days we shot that, I fell so deeply in love with directing and creating and filmmaking that I went, I have to do this as a career. But I just didn't know how. I was like, how do I transfer from my acting to filmmaking? Who's going to take me seriously? And that was the problem. And it took quite a while to be taken seriously. I made a lot of promos, a lot of commercials, a lot of brand media, a lot of long form films that were, for banks and stuff like that. And it just took a long time to get a movie off the ground.
Right. Okay. And fast forward to Knights of Camelot. So it's great. Yeah. Now, I've always been fascinated with the Arthurian legend. How familiar were you with the legend, and what research did you do for the film?
I did loads of research because I wasn't that au fait with the legend. I knew of it, of course. Everyone's heard of it, but I wasn't. It wasn't like a passion project of mine to do. I got approached to come on and be the director after the Dare and producing a Serial Killer's Guide to Life. I had some traction, and I was in the pot of directors to direct it, and I had to pitch for it, and I had to say why I would be a good director for this project, what I would bring to it. So I did my full mood boards and reels and did a whole essay, if you like, of why and what I will direct and what I will do to make this film as good as I can. And yeah, it seemed to work. Then they attached me and said, great, we'd like you to direct this. And then it was working on the script, because Simon Cotton had already written a great script. I just wanted to expand the world a little more and do more with it. So we developed it even further. Johnny Grant came on board because Simon Cotton was unavailable, sadly, and or it just didn't work out. Yeah, and Johnny Grant came on board and gave it a polish, and together we just tidied up Simon's brilliant script and made it, gave it even more of what for me, and put my director's touch on it. And yeah, I really researched the whole Arthurian legend, and I didn't go out and watch all the other movies. I was very wary of doing that because it can influence you. Even though you go, I'm not going to do it like that, you can't help it, and suddenly you're on set and you're going, oh my god, that looks just like that shot, better not do it. And I didn't want that to influence me. I wanted to be on set and get the shots that I wanted to do and prep the way I wanted to prep. So since I've watched Guy Ritchie's version, and I've watched a few others, just to go, okay, were we on the right lines and did it work? But yeah, I'm happy with what we did. We worked our asses off on set, and the cast and crew were amazing in Wales. It was a tough old shoot, but I'm just grateful it's coming out, and it's just a good thing. Any movie coming out is a good thing.
Absolutely, especially during these times. I just watched a couple of things. I just watched Scoob for Warner Brothers and The Old Guard on Netflix. So
nice. How's The Old Guard? Everyone's telling me The Old Guard's
really
quite
good.
cool.
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's based on a graphic novel that I had no knowledge of.
Right.
But it's really good. Charlize Theron's just fantastic, but she's fantastic in everything.
She is fantastic in everything. Yeah, she's very good. I remember her back in, what is it? Was it the one with Brad Pitt? She was in a long time ago. I can't remember what the movie was, but she was fantastic. And then she was also in another one of her early movies. I think Tom Hanks's directorial debut, where they're the band. Do you remember the one where he plays the manager of a band? That Thing You Do, I think it's called.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I am familiar with that one.
And she's the girl in that. And I remember going, who's that? She was fantastic. And she's been fantastic ever since. So I look forward to The Old Guard.
Yeah, The Old Guard is a good watch. It's really great. I liked it a lot. I've got to do a review for that. Yeah,
great. Really You're going to give it a good review. Good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was thoroughly enthralled with it. It's just great from start to finish. All right. So, what is your preferred genre, and do you have any favorite films?
No, I don't have a preferred genre. I love all genres. I've learned to love horror massively since I started acting in them. Before I was acting in them, I wasn't really bothered by horror. I liked it, but I was more of a drama or a sci-fi guy. Not that I was massively into sci-fi, but I just loved that world and what happened. I just like creating things. But when I started being in horror, I realized how difficult they are to make, how difficult they are to act in, and how difficult they are to get out and get seen because there's so many. And it's really tough market, and horror fans are amazing, but they'll also tear your film to pieces if they don't like it, because they've seen nearly every movie out there, from the bad VHSs to the amazing, Jordan's Peele's films. It's that balance. So you've really got to think about your audience. So yeah, I don't have a favorite genre, but I do love horror now. I do love action adventure, and yeah, looking forward to doing more of drama stuff, just because I like working with actors and really getting your teeth in, and as much as you can with horror and with sci-fi and with action adventure. With drama, you're literally just doing that. There's no necessarily fighting. There's no on horseback. There's no blood having to come out of an arm. So therefore, you can just concentrate on, the performances and telling the story. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Absolutely. To be honest, I love all genre. I love film. I'm a massive fan of film since being a kid and going to see Care Bears the movie. No, I'm joking. From going to see E.T. and it was an incredible experience as a kid, and I remember running out crying and being scared and coming back in and going, no, come on, be brave. And it just changed me. Movies take you to another place, and they make you feel so special and amazing, and you can hate them and you can love them and have opinions, and you can talk about it with your friends. I don't know about you, but all the Zoom chats everyone's having now with their mates, they go, what you watching? That's incredible. That means that we're creating things that people do watch and that they like to, and it's the main topic of conversation. So God, to be part of that world, it's a dream. It's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're looking forward to it. My team and I are looking forward to embarking on doing our own short film. We've got two in pre-production at the moment. So yeah, I'm just excited about that. But yeah, I've always loved film as well.
And I'm super excited to see what you make, mate. I can't wait, and I'll happily support you. So yeah, good luck and send it my way.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll do. Thank you. It's well, as you know yourself, it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth every minute of it. And I can't wait. So so the idea with ours is we're going to make a short film as a proof of concept to entice people, so that we can make it into a feature.
It's a good idea. I suggest people should do this. One thing that is always a slight wary is that producers and execs and studios often think that's the best you can do. So therefore, it has to be really high end. You can't make excuses like, oh, we didn't have enough money. Really spend it on making it look good. Even if it doesn't make sense, take your best shots, because that's all they care about, really. It's a proof of concept. So yeah, that'd be my advice, is Don't hand something in just because you want a beginning, middle, and end. If it's not as pretty, if you just take bits, just take bits.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that. All right. So, are there any other aspects of the film industry that you'd like to pursue?
Well, I'm moving into doing all sorts. I mean, I've obviously produced, and I'm helping other filmmakers get their films made. And I've moved into sales a little bit. The people who make money in films are sales and distributors. There's no question about it. And I got the opportunity to come on board a really cool Danny Trejo project and take it to some distributors I knew. So I was like, okay, well, why don't we set this up properly and make a business out of this? So myself and Julian Kostoff are doing that now, and we've set up a little arm to sell some films, so acquire films and sell them on to distributors. So I'm looking into that world now. I mean, not heavily, it's not like, right, this is, but it's just understanding that world so much more about what they look for in a film, why films do well, why films sell. And the usual reason is because the poster's cool, because you got Danny Trejo in it, because the trailer's amazing. There's usual reasons why films sell, because that's what people see. They click on amazing artwork and they go, yeah, look at that movie, I want to watch it. Hobo with a Shotgun, or, you know, one of those type of movies. You go, well, yeah, cool, I want to watch it. Regardless if the movie's good or not, you want to watch it because of the cool artwork. So that's something huge to learn. And having amazing artwork for your film is vital. It really, really is. It's the thing when you go to any market, film market, they'll literally have all the posters in a row. All right, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. It really does come down to that in supermarkets sometimes. They haven't got time to sit and watch the movies. They don't care. They care what goes off their shelves. And if it's a cool artwork, cool poster, that'll go off their shelves, and therefore they make money. So it's a business. And so you've got to think about the business side of it, sadly. But yeah, as creatives,
but we have to be creative as well.
I know.
It's just finding that balance, isn't it?
It's a hard balance, yeah.
It's just finding that balance. So there you go. Are there any? You mentioned doing more drama. Is that one of the genres that you haven't done yet that you'd like to do more of?
Yeah, I started off trying to do that genre, as in one of the first feature films I tried to make was a drama, and it just couldn't go. One thing, I hadn't made a movie. The other thing, it was so hard to get names in it, and you kind of need names in drama. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of area I'd love to do a lot more of. And drama can be anything, you know. Christopher Nolan does drama, but he also does explosive action within the drama, or he does sci-fi within the drama. You'd still definitely call them dramas. But, you know, I'm tackling a Shakespeare at the moment. I really want to do that. We've been working hard on getting that ready. I've got a comedy, a really fun bridesmaids type comedy that I've been spending a long time writing with my friend, and we're ready now. It's looking really strong. We've got it into some good hands, and I'm very excited by that. So I'm looking to do whatever genre's right at the time. And so yeah, if it's a drama next, or if it's, you know, if it's the Shakespeare, if it's the comedy, or if I do another historical action next, or I do a war film next, that's great. I just want to keep those options open. I don't want to be pigeonholed into just doing horror or just doing action adventure. I go where the cool scripts are. I go where the work is in that sense. If I had that choice, yeah. You know, sometimes you don't. You just take the work. Yeah, absolutely. So going back to Arthur Merlin, do you have any memories on set that stand out for you? Oh, so many. Oh my gosh. There's so many lovely moments on that film set. Just memories just came flooding back when you said that. You know, there was times where we were on the cliff and the wind's blowing, and I got Merlin and Arthur up there on the cliff, and their capes are blowing in the wind, and the hair's going, and you know, and you've got the camera filming them. It's just, you know, there it is. There's Arthur and Merlin. You know, like you say, that wonderful thing that's always been in your mind since a kid, and stories and history. And yeah, so that was little things like that, little moments. Seeing all my knights run across this moorland, which was covered in huge puddles everywhere, and just watching them run across and having fun, you know, as much as it was hard, and definitely was. We all really did get stuck in. We had laughs, you know, we really all bonded and went, well, okay, if this is going to be like this, and we're going to get wet every day because of the rain and because of the weather and because of we're going to have issues and problems, why don't we all just enjoy this? And I think that's what we did. It all formed a really strong bond, and we're all, you know, on WhatsApp groups now, and we're all contacting each other and looking forward to the release. And I think that's lovely, and I think friendships will be made for life because of this. And I love that. I love that you can create something and magic comes out of it, literally in some cases. But the fight scenes were great fun to do. The emotional scenes were brilliant. Having Guinevere in a castle and having a Lancelot with a sword, and beating up guards and practicing all those scenes was just incredible. Working with my DP Andy, choosing the camera angles, using natural light wherever we could to keep it really real and gritty, and candlelight. All those things are just happy, wonderful memories, and I'd love to be back on set now filming. I promise you. It doesn't matter what you go through, you're still like, no, let's do it again, let's go, because of that feeling, that amazing passion. And Arthur and Merlin is up there with, one of the joyous moments of my life, and it's just great. And I can't wait for people to see it. I hope they enjoy it. I really do, because of the amount of effort and blood, sweat and tears, and people can just dismiss it because it's not a big budget. It's not a huge Hollywood budget movie. We can't compete with you Guy Ritchie's for that. You just can't. But we wanted to make something gritty and dark and follow Arthur's journey, and that's what we wanted to do with it, and really, get into the heart of what Arthur's about a little bit. And I really hope that people like that and appreciate it.
Yeah. You can compete when your film's good. Because yours is, and it puts a lot of those big budget films to shame. I mean, I remember watching it was quite a few years ago now, but it's the Clive Owen version.
Keira Knightley.
With Keira Knightley, great cast, terrible film. Because they I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's because I've always been like engrossed in the Arthurian legend, and like been a fan of it. And like I like the idea of the round table, that no one's higher than anyone else.
Yes.
With the round table, I thought that was nice. But yeah, it's but they just took too many liberties with that film. Like making him a Roman for one.
Strange choice. Yeah,
very strange choice. Yeah. Making Merlin a druid.
Yeah.
And I think Guinevere was one as well, if I remember rightly. So no. Again, great cast, but not a great film. I think one of the best versions is Excalibur from the 80s.
Yeah, it's a really good one, that, isn't it? Yeah.
That's.
I suppose in a way that's more of the vibe I was going for in terms of, what I mean why we can't compete is we can't compete with the explosions and the huge crane shots, or the massive set pieces, people falling out of windows and the amazing deaths. You can't compete with that. You can compete story wise, of course, and you can try and win people's hearts over with great performances and simple storytelling, I suppose. Yeah, that's what you kind of hope for. Yes, of course, you try and be as good as those, but it's you're not in the same leagues in terms of what they had at their fingertips compared to what we had.
Well, yeah, but you've been more creative with it. And yeah, it's because they tend to take liberties, like not so much liberties, but when they've got like a budget that's like never ending.
Yes,
they just sit back and don't put the work in, and and that's why you get films like Justice League that's made 3 times, it's shot 3 times, and what's released is terrible, and just for the fans to be up in arms about the Snyder Cut, which is being released next year, but that wouldn't happen if they make a good product in the first place. So. But yeah, and like the opening shot of Justice League is like, I mean, it's going to be bad when the opening shot has got a Shrek face on Henry Cavill to cover up his mustache.
Oh, his mustache, yeah, of course, with all that issues. Yeah, because he just didn't want to do it anymore. I love that. It's just incredible, isn't it? He felt duped because he did put him out of the role, and he was like, well, I'm doing this other film. So isn't it amazing? It's like, yeah. Fascinating. It's fascinating how the film industry works at that level. Really
Yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah, it's just throwing way too much money at something and not getting a decent product, and then having to throw more money at it because
Yeah.
people don't like what you made. I don't know. And then they complain that they're losing money. Make a good film. The money will come. Make a good film.
Yeah. I'm sure they tried. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they tried because they did it 3 times. They shot the film 3 times.
Exactly. Yeah, that's trying. Yeah.
But
We'll see. We'll see
at
what the
least,
Snyder Cut's like anyway.
we'll find out next year. Anyway, so you've worked with a great core of talent. I mean, in this film, you've got Richard Brake, and you've got I didn't catch the guy who played Arthur and
Richard Short.
Richard Short.
Tim Fellingham. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you've worked with them. Now, do you have a wish list of who you'd like to work with?
Oh, I'd love to work with Jennifer Lawrence. I think that would be incredible. Leonardo DiCaprio. I think they just both encapsulate performances and dive into these parts, and they're just so electric on screen, so believable. I think that would be amazing. I think some of the old greats, Ian McKellen, would be a lot of fun. Just really insightful and interesting. Yeah, I think that would be good. Florence Pugh at the moment, again, she's really exciting, to work with. I think she's very talented. I think there's a lot of people like that. Jessie Buckley, another one. And some of the upcoming actors, there's so many, actually, who you go, well, that would be good. I think Jesse Eisenberg would be really fun, and really challenging and really insightful as well. So I think, I think there's so many great actors at the moment really doing well in the craft that I think you almost sport for choice. So yeah, the list could go on. So many.
Absolutely. I mean, Florence, and they're lovely people as well. I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting Florence.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Good to hear.
Yeah, I met her a few times. The first time was at the CCA's, at the Crick Circle Awards.
Nice.
And yeah, she's a lovely girl. That was before she blew up. That was
right.
That was before, obviously, the most recent news is that she's going to be moving forward. She's going to be the new Black Widow moving forward in the MCU, which is pretty damn cool. Yeah, so that seems to be pretty damn cool. So
that is really cool.
That's the rumor, but then Black Widow hasn't been released yet. I think it's November at the moment, unless they move it again. But yeah.
Well, at the moment everything's up in the air. That's what it's mean to get Arthur Merlin out now. It's great, and The Dare came out in March in the US and Canada, and actually it was really good timing. As much as we ended up not having a premiere for it, as much as the same with Arthur and Merlin, we would have had a premiere right now, tomorrow, in fact. But what it did do is it meant that people were sat at home and were looking for things to watch, and if they did like horror, they put The Dare on, because it's perfect for horror fans. And the same with Arthur and Merlin. People are still indoors, people are still looking for movies to watch, so fingers crossed people watch it and click on the link and like it. That it's a good time, I suppose, to release a movie the last 3 months. Yeah,
absolutely. So who inspires you within the industry?
Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. I'm going for the big obvious choices, but Christopher Nolan is amazing people, and really just inspiring on what they do, and to constantly come across as hardworking and nice. I think Ron Howard as well. As much as some people might not like certain films of theirs, I think they're just very talented people, and amazing. Spielberg, for me, just is an absolute legend. He's someone I'd love to work with. I think that would be incredible. So many people inspire me. Danny Boyle has always been one of my inspirations as a director. I love his ethos on set. Excuse me. I love how he works massively hard with his crew, brings them all on board. You look at when he won the Oscars for Slumdog Millionaire. He pretty much said, no, they directed it with me. His first AD who spoke, I can't remember what language it was, but in the film. So I think that to me is wonderful. He worked with the kids, so brings them in, or his costume designer, his makeup. They're all part of that team, and that to me is something that I'd really, like to do more of in my filmmaking, is the Danny Boyle method. And God, to have a career like he's had, yeah, that's what you want to aim for. Spielberg, obviously, but that's it's almost too far away. So aim a little bit higher. But Danny Boyle's, huge inspiration for me.
Brilliant. Yeah, he's a great filmmaker, Danny.
Really is. Yeah.
One of my favorite films of his is 148 Hours.
128 hours, isn't it?
It's 128.
Yeah, 128 hours.
The one with with James Franco. Yeah, where he's trapped in a rock and he has to ambulate.
I can't watch that again.
That's one of I've seen it once. Exactly. I love the film. It's the same thing with 12 Years a Slave. I've watched it. I love the film. I'm not watching it again because it's a tough subject matter.
Yeah, I'm the same with the DiCaprio one, The Revenant. The same for me. I can't watch it again. It was great. It was grueling. It was gritty, but I don't want to watch it again. And that's maybe I will one day. But some movies you want to watch again. Tom Hanks movies, I'll watch them all day again. But yeah, that one I can't. I love DiCaprio. In fact, I think he's been better in other movies. Of course, he was amazing in that movie, no question about it. But I think for me, Wolf of Wall Street was just to keep up that level of performance. People underestimate how hard that is. Really, really do. It's really hard to keep that bouncy, excitable, hard energy. You try doing that for 10 minutes. He does it for over and over and over again in that film.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. It's a long film. It's a good watch, though. It's just a long film. They could have probably cut off maybe half an hour of it, but then Scorsese does make long films.
Yeah, he likes long films, and it works, and it made a lot of money. So I think, he's kind of get away with it. But I think because it was so entertaining, it worked. That's why it worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I mean, I was a fan of hers for years before she was in Wolf of Wall Street. With Margot Robbie, it made her name in Hollywood at least. Because I'm a big fan of Neighbours, so I watched it when she was on it. So
amazing. And she was in About Time as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And that was sort of her first sort of British feature that she sort of broke out in, and I remember in that, and then career took off as it should. She's brilliantly talented.
She is.
Talent rises. It does so.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does indeed. So obviously fandoms are a big part of the industry. Who or what are you a fan of?
I'm a fan of people who work hard and longevity. I'm a fan of people who, even through the hard times, stick at it. And maybe you could put Robert Downey Jr. in that list. You could probably put directors who've been through the mill. Josh Trank, maybe, into that world of someone who's been high and then absolutely dropped on his ass and has to fight his way back up, which he's doing right now. That to me says, they're my heroes, the inspiration, the people who've like say, you're the best, they drop them because one bad film or one problem or one issue, and they have to fight their way back. And that says a lot about those people. And also the people who are just really nice. It's a tough industry. There's a lot of people who are not nice, shall we say, without swearing, and you have to fight that. And those people who are pleasant and good to work with and nice, they get talked about and word spreads, and people want to work with them. It's something I've learned hugely, especially with actors. If they're difficult or word gets around, they might be a bit funny on set, whatever it is, we all talk. All the indie film world talks. So if you're an actor and you start divering it up, we know. And I'll ring up, if I'm thinking of casting someone, I'll ring up the director or I'll email the producer of that film and say, what were they like? And they will tell me. We're all very honest. We're not going to go into detail, but we'll just say, nah. But if they're good, you'll go, they're amazing. They were amazing. They stayed later. They did whatever was asked. They really worked hard and they were brilliant. That's what you want to hear. So word gets around with crew as well. So, don't be that person. Be better than that. no one should be this, person on set who thinks they're better than everyone else. What for? We're all working, striving for the same thing. Don't make things difficult. Everything is on a film set already. Why would you try and make that harder?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you like with Arthur and Merlin, you've surrounded yourself with like incredible people. I mean, I've never actually met Richard Brake, but I'm sure he's wonderful to work with. Never actually spoken to him either, which is a shame.
He was in the Dare, so his name popped up, his agent, when we were casting for the Dare, and his agent sent him through, and I was like, what? Oh my god, yes, straight away. And we set up a meeting with him. We didn't need to cast. I'm not going to cast, get him to read. I know exactly what Richard Brake can do. And we just met and had a brilliant chat. And by the time we actually got to filming it and actually got the green light, which maybe probably a year later after that, he was still available and amazingly still wanted to work with me, and he loved the script. And then when we were doing Arthur and Merlin, I thought, who could be a better Merlin than Richard Brake giving it. And what was amazing at the time, he had long hair and he had a beard, and he grew up in Wales as a kid. So he was like, for me, Arthur and Merlin was an amazing mythical, person. So for him to come and play Merlin, he said, was just a dream come true in Wales, where he was born. And he said half the places we were shooting as well, he ran around as a kid with a fake plastic sword and as Arthur or Merlin, and it was just like, wow. So yeah, that worked out really well. He's brilliant to work with. He really listens. He's thoughtful, intelligent actor, and I would work with him again in a heartbeat.
We really worked with him twice.
Exactly. Yeah.
With the popularity of streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus, what do you think the future of cinema is?
Oh, I think the future of cinema, I really hope it carries on as it is. I think it just needs a breath of fresh air. I think what would be really cool as us paying punters who pay quite a lot to go to the cinema, and popcorn and your drinks, you're talking, if you're taking a date or a friend or whatever, you're talking 60, 70 quid, right? Unless it's a smaller cinema, but the main chain. So why not put something on? Why not make it an entertainment? Why not have an actor from the movie come and do a talk after every screening? Imagine, before even Justice League, imagine you go to the movies and there is an actor guaranteed, around and promoting the movie. I know that's putting a lot of pressure on the actors that they have to do this, or a crew member, but I tell you what, you'd pay double for that. All the talks and the Q&As we go and see and we pay for, that there is the director there or the actor. But I think that might be the future of cinema, because we need to change it up. Things do need to change. It's got stale and old, and there's people rustling popcorn and I'm bored by the film and whatever. But imagine if it was very interactive, or if, let's say the actor or director couldn't make every screening, but that it got beamed live to whichever cinema they were in, to the cinema you were in. So at least you got that experience, and they're watching it with you, or they're doing a director's commentary at the same time. Imagine if Christopher Nolan was doing a director's commentary at the cinema. You'd watch it first, you'd pay to watch it without the commentary, and then you go back in to hear him live talk about it, wouldn't you? And I think something like that would be absolutely revolutionary and incredible. Go see it at the IMAX. You watch it, you pay a lot, it's packed, and then straight after he does a director's commentary about how he made it. I would pay a lot of money to see that. I just think it needs shaking up a little bit. Independent film in cinemas, of course, they all need the help now, and we all do Q&As. If we were putting on Arthur and Merlin, which we would have done at some of these smaller cinemas around the UK now, I'd have gone to as many as I could and done Q&As. We did it for A Serial Killer's Guide to Life when we released that ourselves around cinemas, and we did about 8 to 10 cinemas around the country, and we had to just stop a few when COVID happened. We were just about to do a few more, the Lexi in London and a couple of others, but we all turned up and did Q&As. The audience love that. It's a proper experience. Then they watch the movie, you talk about it, you introduce it, watch the movie, talk about it. I think that's the next step. I would love that. I would love it. So I don't know. I just think something needs to happen differently to just move it forward a bit. More interactive, more things on your phone, or, if you want to know about a scene where it was shot, you can see it on whatever it is, even at home. Things need to change, and maybe that's the next step.
Absolutely. Your co-host did that with his film at the Prince Charles Cinema.
Dom Lenoir, with he did it with Winter Ridge and Soundtrack to 16 and I Love My Mum, and we've done it as well with our movies, and you can do it. You can tour around with your independent movie and put it in cinemas, and you can get people there, go on the radio, advertise it, whatever, because people want to know, they want to hear about the new cool stories, and then you do a Q&A, and what we've found is audiences are much more likely to turn up if there's someone from the cast and crew doing a Q&A afterwards. People want to hear it. So yeah, especially around the country. Yeah. It's awesome.
So is there a book that you're a fan of that hasn't been adapted to film or TV or Netflix yet that you'd love to be a part of?
No, a lot of the books that I really like have been adapted, and I'm just trying to think of the one that I'd love to. I mean, Alex Garland's books are really cool, and it'd be really great to adapt one of those. But he's obviously already done them, and he knows what he's doing. I think, maybe what would be really interesting is to adapt a book about filmmaking, let's turn that into a film. People trying to make films is always interesting, but then it's only interesting for those in the industry sometimes. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, nothing really springs to mind. Sorry, buddy.
It's all right, no worries. So during this lockdown, I mean, things are slowly reopening now. How do you use this time? Have you used it to stay creative and get things done that you wouldn't otherwise have the time to do?
Yeah, I haven't stopped being creative. I've 2 scripts that we were close to finishing. I've now properly finished and got them to a really good state. I've got business packs all set up. I've set up meetings with producers, new ventures, found new investors, found new production companies I want to work with, started producing another movie that's going to shoot in October. So I'm doing the podcast stuff, the Filmmakers Podcast, just constantly doing that, and doing the Make Your Film events online so that people can still get some information about how to make films during this lockdown. So I've just not stopped, basically. I think I've been just as busy as I always have been. Some days were just like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that film. Okay, I had 5 different films to talk about during the day. Let's talk about the Shakespeare. Let's rewrite the comedy for 2 hours. Right, okay, let's look on that. Okay, let's do King Arthur for a bit. And don't forget, we were delivering King Arthur during COVID. So when we all got locked down, we had to finish delivery. So I'm getting stems sent to me for the music. I'm getting VFX sent to me. I'm getting grades sent to me. And it's nowhere near the same as going into the studio and looking at it and tweaking it together. That's gorgeous. There's the times you love to do it. This is the time your film comes alive and you see it on the big screen and the score is played and the grade is up there and you can just tweak little bits. Oh God, it's incredible. Your film comes alive. You've been sat looking at these much duller pictures with your own terrible sound mix on it, and suddenly, boom, there it is, and you go, oh. And I missed out on that on Arthur and Merlin because I had to do it via computer and doing COVID. But we did do it, and we delivered on time and on budget, and that's really an incredible achievement. So yeah, I was doing that as well, and plus we're editing the documentary Food for Thought at the moment, which we've been making for a while, about an environment and how we eat and why we eat, going vegan is a much better lifestyle, how our bodies are adapting to the climate now, and why things need to change. So we're in the edit on that. So there's so many things. That was just a few that I could remember. So yeah, constantly working. So it's been a really productive time. I just can't wait to get back on set. I can't wait to get back to doing stuff now. I'm itching. I really want to do it.
Yeah. All right. So just before I let you go, going back to Arthur and Merlin, where can people find it? Because it's obviously released tomorrow. Where can people find it?
Yeah, so it's, as far as I know, it's released in so many territories around the world now. I'm sure I'll get told tomorrow. But in the UK, it is out on Amazon, so you can get your DVD copy there, or it is on digital, so you can get your virtual copy on iTunes. I think is the best place to go and get it. And yeah, I think it's a reasonable price. I don't think it's very much. So yeah, go support. If you like historical actions, you're going to love it. If you like in-depth, gritty, drama, we'll call it, then I think you're going to love this. And I really hope you do. And yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of everyone who worked their asses off on it. And I really hope that other people like it too.
Great. And what are you working on at the moment? I mean, obviously you're working on so much. You've got your podcasts and other scripts and everything else in the documentary. What else are you working on, and where can people find you?
You can find, so you can find me on Twitter. Mainly is where I talk about my stuff a lot, is at Giles Alderson. And the podcast where we talk about filmmaking and our films and we talk with other filmmakers is at filmmakerspod on Twitter, or you can go thefilmmakerspodcast.com and find all our back catalogue of over 170 podcasts now. We've had some amazing people on as well, like Christy Wilson Cairns wrote 1917, and we have Neil Marshall on, who obviously everyone knows did Hellboy recently, and oh my god, the list goes on of these incredible people, and loads of indie filmmakers as well. But yeah, I suppose I'm working on next is the Shakespeare, the comedy, getting those now, getting some money in for those, and maybe another historical action with talks about that, and maybe a well, I got approached to do a couple. There might be a musical in the works as well. So
All right.
Yeah,
That'd be
a
cool.
really fun romantic musical. And I love that. I was on West End stage for a bit in when I was acting, so I did a couple of musicals, and to me it'd be a joy to do that. So yeah, contracts are back and forth at the moment, so you just never know with these things. You just never know if they're actually going to go, but you do everything you can to get them to the level, and then you hope someone actually presses money into the account button.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I've always been fascinated by this. How does it? Obviously, when adapting William Shakespeare's works, like, do you feel a sense of responsibility when doing that? Because obviously he's the bard. He's
of course.
legend.
But what you can do is Richard Short has actually written this, and who's obviously my King Arthur. And we've been talking about it. I've known him for 20 years, and we've been talking about doing this project since then. We thought it was a dream. It was like, one day we'll make this film. And actually, when I was in LA recently promoting The Dare, I stayed with him, and we just said, why don't we do it? When I'm in these pitch meetings, why don't I just mention it? And he said, yeah, sod it, let's do it. And we did. I did. I started pitching it, and suddenly it got a lot of interest. And I said, great, send us the pack, send us the script. Now, we didn't have one at the time, so it was like, yeah, cool. I'm just going to do a few tweaks, then we'll send it across. But Richard wrote it in a couple of weeks, but it's probably one of the best adaptations I've ever read. It's so good. It's Western set, really exciting, but we've used Shakespeare's words, because why would we put our words onto it? So we're going with original language, but we've got our wonderful twist in that Western world. And yeah, it's super exciting. We got producer attached straight away, and then because it was cool, and then we got an exec producer attached, and we're doing the budgets now. And we were going to shoot in Texas, but that might be a real problem. So there's some other options just opened up. So fingers crossed again that happens, because that would be just great. And obviously I might get some of my people who've been in my other films to be in this one again. Let's see.
When you have fun working with them, why not?
Why not? Yeah, talent is
not?
just great to work with. So yeah, and you get on. So hey, come and do this one as well.
Absolutely. All right, cool. I mean, Arthur Merlin is out tomorrow in the UK. I watched it. It's brilliant. So yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to everything else that you come out with. And yeah, make that musical. I'd like to see that too.
Really? All right, cool. It's so
I like musicals. I watched Hamilton on Friday when it was released. So yeah, it was released on, was it this Friday or last Friday? I don't know what his time these days. Yeah, I watched it as soon as it came out. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So I'd never seen Hamilton. I had never seen Hamilton. I'd heard a few of the songs before, but I'd never seen it. And obviously, it's hard. It was hard to get tickets over in America, so they're nigh on impossible in this country to get. But yeah, the last it's on my list of theatre places to take my other half. Last thing I took her to was Wicked.
Yeah, which is great as well. Yeah, really
I've seen it. Well, I've seen it twice now. So I took her to see that because she hadn't seen it and I had, so I took her to see it.
Congratulations! Lovely, really nice.
Yeah,
I'll do my best to get that made for you. I'll do it.
Cool. Well, again. And then talk again about it. And it's gonna be fun. So thanks for joining me today. And good luck with the film and everything else you do. I'll keep an eye out on the podcast and stuff like that.
Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. You do a great job. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. No worries, man. You take care.
Bye.
See you, mate. Bye.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
He does not fight so others can rest. He does not survive because he fears death. He endures.
Lancelot!
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.